we go. That's a fucking healthy pour. Thank you, sir. Oh, did we start the problem on the clock?
Oh, we did start the problem on the clock. Good aim. Good aim.
All right, so just a little fucking heads up, a little PSA.
Yes.
It's Sunday.
Yes.
We've been in my pool.
Yes.
And we've been drinking.
Yes.
So we're a little shattered, not crazy, but we're gonna get there.
I would say I'm a sheet to the wind. I'm not 3 yet. I'm a sheet.
No, but you know, it's a perfect day to be in the pool.
Oh, it's 102 out. The pool is 86.
The pool is 86. Pool's a bath.
The mountains are blue on McClure's Light.
Yeah.
So Natalie,
welcome back, you motherfuckers.
Natalie's here, and she called me a fucking hillbilly.
So for you guys who don't know, I do have a sister-in-law. I have two, actually.
Two.
And one's in the house today.
Yeah, she's watching us.
Yeah, so Natalie's the good time party girl. She doesn't listen to this podcast because we're not friends apparently, but I think she'll start.
You don't listen to the podcast?
No.
What's your problem, dude?
She doesn't like me. We're not friends.
What about me? I'm 50% of this shit.
Yeah, but I was never invited for pool day, so now that I was invited, I'm like, all right, I might listen.
Oh, wow.
That's my fault because I don't invite anybody over. I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't invite anybody
You don't
over.
like people.
I get invited because I'm on the podcast.
Yeah. me and Jack hang out all the time. Like, hey, do you want to come drink and then podcast? And he was like, yeah, I'll be right there.
Yeah, that's a lie. I'm here all the time.
Yeah. So we had and JJ's in the room, obviously, my wife and the holder of the phone book,
the chief cook and bottle washer, videographer.
Yeah, the beater upper. So before I get into what we're gonna drink today, I had a fucking blast at Barcuso.
I had so much fun, and the pizza was so good.
Oh, dude. Oh, the pizza. I'd go back just for the pizza.
And Joey was
and his hospitality is crazy. I mean, he's like one of us. I mean, like, he instantly fit. When we started talking to him, it was like, you hunt, you drink whiskey, like, you hang out, you this, you like cigars, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. You're Italian.
Yeah,
you're good.
You fit right with us. You're going to fucking be one of our good friends. And it's a shame it took us so long to go there, but I think there's a reason for everything, man. And if we got in early, like, maybe we wouldn't be where we are, but we're going to try to do an episode in his bar once a month.
Yeah, so if you guys listen to it, it's a little echoey.
Yeah.
We literally sat at his bar. And if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen, like, we literally were sitting there at the bar.
Yeah.
He's back there pouring Whistle Pig. It was wheat.
Yeah, and
wheat whiskey.
So he fucked up and gave me the bottle, and on the podcast I told him I pour heavy, bud. Like this is a bar, and I get that, but like this is our podcast, and this is what we do. It's different. He was like, nope, fucking drink it up.
Go for it. We finished the bottle, and we're like, we feel bad for finishing your bottle. He goes, you think that's the only one I've got?
Yeah, he's like, what do you say, about 2 cases or something?
About 2 cases. Yeah. We're like, okay, well.
So wheat, I did not know could make whiskey, but it was light, and it was delicious.
It was different.
I fucking dig Whistle Pig.
And then when we were leaving, or no, not when we were leaving, after we finished podcasting, Jerett became the mayor of Barcuso.
Yeah.
And then started recommending drinks to everyone.
Yeah. A lot of people came in who were like, oh, you only do whiskey? And I'm like...
He's like, hang on.
There's a lot. So, Paper Planes is Kendra's favorite drink.
Yes.
And they're delicious. They don't taste like whiskey. And that's the first thing that I recommended to a girl who was kind of like, no, we'll go somewhere else. I'm like, no, sit down. You're like, you'll like this. And she ended up staying and having a drink. And she was like, that was delicious. Thank you for the recommendation. So... I'm for hire for any of your events if you want somebody to come hype your shit up.
A liaison, if you will. A liquor liaison.
I should start a consulting company.
You should.
Oh, fuck it. It's called Professional Best Friends.
PBF.
I'll come hang out at your place and be your best friend and your fucking promoter. I'm really good at it.
You are.
Yeah, I'm the mayor of Barcuso now. So if you go to Barcuso,
Yes,
and I am not there, but you need somebody to come in and recommend drinks for you, you could hire me.
Mm-hmm. He's a DM away.
Yeah.
Just a DM away.
Here. So, like we said, we got Jay in here, which we always do. She's taking videos and making mean faces at me because she wants to punch me. You're gonna hear shrill laughs from Natalie in the background this whole fucking episode. So in honor of Natalie finally coming over, finally getting invited, and she's been invited a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, I've invited her a couple times and she didn't show up. So I was like, all right, well, then I'm not going to fucking invite you anymore.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like, I get my head wrapped around the fact that I get to hang out with you for fucking 4 hours. And I'm good with that, and then you don't come, and then I'm like, well, fuck you. Like, the time that I'm being nice, you don't want to come, but the times I'm like, fuck off, you're like, well, we just want to come over.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I need to be more fuck offish or not, but
There's an old saying, something about cake and eating it too.
yeah. It's called go fuck yourself.
And I feel like if I sat here, I'd have way more questions than what I do now.
Yes, 100%. So thank you, Natalie, for coming out today. Like I said, I have 2 sister-in-laws. The other one shall not be named because she won't come and hang out. But I openly invited them both today to come sit in the pool because I was like, it's hot outside.
I also was an invited guest that will not step on any toes.
Yeah, no, I very early and often in my days when JJ's like, well, I'm gonna have people over. I'm like, I'm gonna text Jack.
Help!
Please help me.
You put up that white flag for me.
Yeah, sometimes I go to Jack's house to escape it all. But in honor of Natalie being here, we let her pick a bottle that we will drink today.
Yes.
And she picked an open bottle that we've had before, but that's fine.
That's okay.
Because I think that we liked it. I don't remember. It's been a while since we've had this bottle. So this is the High West.
Yes, sir.
It's a double rye, a blend of straight rye whiskeys. So I'm guessing that there's more than one in here. It is 46%, which makes that, what, 92?
92, yes, sir.
Yeah, my math is math. See, I can drink in math.
You can multiply yourself.
I can multiply myself as long as I can fuck them. JJ's over here like, fuck off. And when Kendra listens to it, she's going to have a good laugh.
Yeah, JJ's like, like I need another one of you pawing at me. Like,
yeah.
Fuck off. So while he's pouring that up, the shameless self-promotion shall begin. YouTube, Shattered Wisdom.
There you go, sir.
Ooh, thank you. Go on there. Watch our videos.
Nana, do you want to try some of this?
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Natalie, want to try
You call me Nana.
some of the fire water?
You gotta. Do you want to drink out of my glass, or do you want to find your own? Okay.
Wow.
You gotta come get it because I got
That's a girl.
microphones and shit.
People are like, what's her name again? How can I find her on Insta?
Yeah.
Nana.
Nana is single
Yes.
and ready to mingle. So, so if you're a friend of mine, you can't date my sister-in-law because we'll never hang out again. But if you are a listener who is a good dude and is in good standings with, I don't know, life.
And likes hockey.
And likes hockey.
You're
Yeah, we're a
like
big hockey
That's
family.
a prerequisite.
And yes, I mean, I'm not going to give you her Instagram, but if you find her, good on you.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, Shattered Wisdom on TikTok, Instagram, Shattered Wisdom Podcast. I am Shattered Wisdom _Jack.
Uh-huh.
He is Shattered Wisdom _Jerett. That'll lead you to Natalie. X,
good luck.
Shattered Wisdom. Facebook, Shattered Wisdom. ShatteredWisdom.com. Dofo.
The Dofo dinner. So tickets are still on sale. Selling out. But you don't want to miss this.
Yeah, young Tyler at my job site asked me if there was what the discount code was.
It's go fuck yourself,
And I
Tyler.
was like, what?
Does JJ have a discount code on there?
No. And he's like, I'm trying to save up for a wedding, but I really want to go to the Dofo dinner. I'm like,
Tell him that, Tyler, I'm talking to you now direct, you motherfucker. My buddy owns Dofo Winery, and if you're going to pay for a wedding, I can get you a good deal on a venue.
I think they've already got a place and all that kind
fuck
of
you,
shit,
Tyler.
so fuck him, yeah.
You
But,
pay full price, you son of a bitch. I got to pay for it.
yeah, I got to pay full price, dude. It's our fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't get a discount code. Damien's not like, hey, I'll do yours for free if you bring people. No, he's like, no, you got to pay too.
Yeah, this is the cost. So,
Yeah.
But go on there, buy tickets. They go quick.
Yeah.
I don't think
You
we have
do
many
not want
left.
to miss this. I fucking promise. Like, if you're out there, like, man, how good can it be?
Fucking good.
Fucking better than you've ever. The best night you're ever gonna have that you will talk about forever is these dinners.
A couple weekends ago, my sister and I, our birthday is 6 days apart.
Yeah.
We did dinner at the house with the family and the Medberries and all that. And
Yeah, we did.
we opened a bottle of Dofo Cab Sauv.
Mhm.
I think it was a 2017.
Probably.
It was so fucking good.
I have really good bottles at your house that we don't open and I just leave there.
Yeah.
So we've got some real gems sitting at your house.
Dude, that Cab Sauv was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it was...
Yeah.
So good.
here, cheers, brother.
Yes, sir. There we are.
Cheers, Natalie.
Cheers.
And to Jay, who's not drinking today.
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, why haven't we revisited that one? That's
Oh,
fucking
that's
smooth
pretty
as
fucking
silk,
good.
brother.
And you know what's crazy is,
Thank you,
is
Natalie.
I think over time, man, like our palate changes too. So if we had it early on,
Yeah.
and we didn't like it, it might be more approachable now.
It's very approachable right
It's
now.
it's very good.
I'm going to snatch that bottle back from Natalie. We're going to float that son of a bitch.
Yeah. No, thanks, Natalie. You might have to pick a bottle too for this podcast.
I got you.
We'll see how long we rant and rave on our topics today. But would you like to draw a question, Mr. Jack?
Oh, yeah.
So Jack at Barcuso thought that he was going to fucking introduce the whiskey, and then he forgot and put it down, and I introduced it. So you grab the questions. You do a pretty good job with that.
Questions. Yeah. We're keeping to the protocol. I apologize.
It's so far for me too. We're in this big ass studio, so. Ooh, that's a long one.
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
What is the most significant challenge you faced in your life, and how did you overcome it?
I've had a few, man. So it's gonna be taking me a minute to like pinpoint one down. So for me, like, a challenge has always been the workforce, right? So work for me. I never had I worked 100 hours in high school at TJ Maxx in the back, putting "Don't Steal Me" tags on clothes, as whatever, like a high school program.
Sure.
And then I never wanted a job after that because I was focused on trying to hang out and sleep in and blah, blah, blah. You know,
being a teenager.
being a fucking teenager and chasing fucking people and blah, 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 blah. So when I went in the military, that's what I knew. And when I made the decision to get out, I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I was going to do. And there's people around me. Even David's like, you need this place. So I didn't know what I was going to do in life, man. And I don't know how I ended up here. Like, I'm the same person. So me in 2013, getting out of the military, versus me in 2024, I don't understand how I got here. And I was talking to my mom because my mom was down, and she's like, hard work and determination.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no, like I busted my ass to get where I am because I never wanted to go back to that. That was my low of lows. Renting a fucking room, like I started out on the couch renting a room, and then fucking not having a TV, and like, as you go through life, right, and you experience nice things, you find a way to keep them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so Steve Harvey says, like, if you fly first class one time, you will find a way to fly first class every time.
Yep.
And that's the truest statement ever, because JJ will only fly first class now. But it is, I now, there's no such thing as too much money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care, like, what I have to do to get money. Like, we have a lot of irons in the fire, and there's a lot of things, man. And I talked to so I have mentors who are older, right? Successful, well-off people, and they said you need to find 1 to 2 things that make you as much money as you make doing 10.
Yes.
So he said, find that one thing or those 2 things and do that. And sales for me has worked out well, man. I built this life that I have now on sales, but I think that the fear was there of getting out of the military, because you have no world experience. Like, you have world experience. You traveled. You did all these things. You have no fucking 9 to 5 experience. Mm-hmm. So that for me was one of the hardest things to overcome, and start at the bottom. Because I'm like, well, if I started this job when I went in the military, I'd be 8 years. I'd be so much further, blah, blah, blah. But you can't look at life that way.
Yeah.
You are where you are now. Start now.
Yeah.
So for me, it was that, being poor and broke, and then JJ got pregnant, and I was not making any money. I was fucking terrified. When JJ told me she was pregnant, I was fucking terrified.
It's funny. Mine has to do with work too, and Kendra and I have experienced a couple things. Like,
yeah.
We both lost our jobs before our wedding, but that wasn't really anything that I overcame. Like, yeah, we got jobs and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't that big a deal. But the job that I have now was similar to, like, you when I started.
Yeah, because you were older.
I was older. I was about 8 years older than the other when kids start in my position.
Yeah.
I came in and I knew nobody And it was still construction, but it was construction on such a higher caliber than what I was used to.
Well, because depending on where you work, it's different levels. There's different levels of this stuff. So if you know somebody who works in construction and they are a pipe layer versus a superintendent, I mean, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
Versus,
I came in and, like I said, I knew nobody, and my first job site was 91 miles from where we were living.
Oh, so it was down the street.
And what I was told when I started is you're expected to be here from 6 a.m. till 5 p.m. every night.
Right. So construction is you could work your day 24 hours.
Yeah.
There's always something to do.
Yep.
You have to drag yourself away from that because even you get caught in the, you get there at 6, right? Or 5:30, or you get there early as fuck before anybody else. You're the first person on the job site, and that's when your day starts.
Yep.
And a lot of people in construction, so if you're like a laborer, your day is 7 to 3, 7 to 2. I mean, like you're out of there midday because A, you've been there since before the sun came up. B, they're not paying you overtime.
Yep.
When you are on salary, it doesn't matter. They'll work you to fucking death. But when you're an employee and you're getting hourly rate, they do not want to pay you overtime. They don't want to pay you double time on fucking Sundays. They want to avoid all of that because that's money out of their pocket.
Yeah.
But as a superintendent, they'll work you to death.
Oh, yeah. But I wasn't even a superintendent. I remember when I started, I left the house at like 4:30 in the morning, and I got home at like 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
And Ella was a baby, and I was just like, I'm never going to see my daughter again.
Right.
I'm never going to see my wife. And I was so exhausted. And same thing, we were like poor, and Kendra had the same crazy commute and all this kind of shit. And I remember the first day I called Kendra, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. And even the people I worked with, they're like, the first 2 months, we didn't think you were going to make it.
Yeah.
And here I am. In a month, it'll be 12 years at the same company. And it was just a huge change. And Kendra and I moved, and we uprooted our entire life, which was good for her, too, because it got her closer to her work. But it fast-tracked us to the point we are now. Mm-hmm. Kind of similar, like when you say, like, how did I get here? It's the same thing, but it was such a drastic lifestyle change at that point that it was overwhelming, and we just fucking put our noses to the grindstone and just worked through it.
So a lot of people end up in the positions that they're in life out of necessity.
Oh, that's what Kendra's saying. Yeah. She's like, you leaving this job is not an option.
Yeah. Like, even if you hate it to death to your core, once you get to a certain pay scale, once you get to a certain amount of money and comfortability in your life, it becomes harder to leave a job.
Oh, yeah.
And you deal more with your shit, right? You just deal with it because you're like, well, I don't want to complain. We're dudes. Like, we talk about the show all the time. Like, I don't want to complain about this or that or whatever. But there's people who hate their fucking jobs, but they cannot quit because the money's good. They're comfortable. They're in a good position. Like, you work your fucking ass off to get where you are. And now you're here. Like, it's hard to leave, which is what I told my dad when he retired. My dad was a general manager of a company. He's like, I worked my whole life to get here and make this much money, and now I'm just going to give it up. I'm like, it's kind of how this thing goes, man.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah. So anyways, what we're going to talk about today, because you finished? You done answering your question?
I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, since we talked about those things for 20 minutes, we'll move on. I'll digress. So we're going to talk a little bit about conspiracies.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of shit going on in the world.
Yeah.
And JJ wrote up here, breaking news, and then she just put, Biden's out.
Biden's out.
So Biden withdrew.
He did.
After he made a statement that he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of speculation around that.
But he sent out a formal letter.
Yeah. No, he did it right.
And
the last person to do that was LBJ.
Yep. And he's just, at first, when I heard it, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, Biden is, I thought he was stepping away from the presidency entirely.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he's just opting out. He's not going to continue in the presidential race.
Right.
But for a second, I was like, oh, shit. Like, he stepped down. Like, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, which in anything else, if your nominee and your candidate quits, the other guy wins. Mm-hmm. But not here.
No, there's enough. There's enough other candidates.
They're going to have to find one. So potentials are Kamala, right? If she fucking runs for president and then she picks up a VP, we think that we personally in this home think that she will either pick up Gavin Newsom because they're from. I mean, their friends are. They're both from here.
Yep.
And Gavin Newsom had kind of put out some things that he was interested in moving that direction, and then that would leave an opening for Chad Bianco to be governor, which would be a great thing for the state of California. But everybody hates California because of our politics.
Yeah.
And if you elect that guy to be your president, you're going to hate it as much as we are, because he's going to bring all that shit to the world now. He has control of California, and he comes up with a lot of rules. Imagine if he did that on a fucking national scale.
It's funny, you text that over. We were in a group chat earlier talking about this shit. And you texted specifically, well, most of the world hates, or most of the United States hates California.
Oh, yeah. Did you go to any state? I don't tell him I'm from California.
No. And I think if he got elected, he would get a huge amount of pushback.
Yeah.
From everywhere else, because everywhere else is like, no.
Well, Northern California would push for him because we recalled him, and he got reelected.
Oh, he fucking laughed at it. Yeah, he was like, all right.
Yeah. Fuck you guys down in the South. We're Southern California. So I tell everybody, we're a different California. And if you drive through certain parts of California, you'd never believe you're in California.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get through Central California, everything changes.
It's an entirely different world.
Yeah. And while, God, our fucking San Francisco's so fucked. Like all the northern states are big on pushing for safe zones to do drugs.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fix the problem, they're like, no, come here, we'll give you needles. We'll do this, we'll do that. So they're perpetuating the problem.
Yeah.
But not down here. Like we don't have that same. I mean, we have homeless and all these things, but it's Northern California and Southern California are two different Californias.
What's funny too is it's like Southern California is one, San Francisco and the Bay Area is another, and then Northern California is different. There's almost 3 different zones in there.
And do you know how the cost of living is in San Francisco?
Oh, it's astronomical.
I can't afford it.
This house, this house that we're recording in right now, if you put it in San Francisco, $10 million.
At least.
All day. With the backyard with this much space, and you don't have 7 duplexes coming out of your backyard.
Yeah, I can't reach out my window and give my neighbor a high five.
No.
So we'll see, man. But that's the thing that I'll never understand is that it is so expensive to live there. And it's expensive to live in New York, too. And New York is apartments and no elevators. Mark has an apartment on the 3rd floor. There's no elevator. You got to carry all your shit up.
Damn.
And it costs a fucking arm and a leg to live there. And it's as big as this room.
No, thank you.
So I'll take this fucking where I'm at and we'll figure it out. But I think Chad Bianco is going to throw his name. I think a lot of things are starting to line up because he's been talking about it. And if Gavin Newsom runs for, let's even say if he runs for vice president, that would leave a hole in his office and Chad could slide in there.
Yes, sir.
So we talked about this. We had a whole episode about this, but there's new conspiracies about the Trump assassination.
Oh, dude, they're rampant.
It was an inside job. It was the CIA. It was the this. It was the that. There was a guy on the water tower. Like I said about the when you get instant video, like that's what you know. It is what it is. You spin it however you want.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy.
Yeah. So was there a guy on a water tower? How the fuck should I know? I wasn't there.
But here's my thought: if there was a guy in a water tower, and we discussed this, because Jared and I hunt, we shoot, we have long range rifles that are capable of shooting somebody at 1,000 yards. And not that we have the ability to do that, but
and here's the thing too: is that's a hard shot.
Oh yeah, it takes a very specifically trained individual to do that.
You have to know what you're not. I don't give a fuck who you are. I highly doubt you're shooting 1,000 yards on iron sights.
No, but if there was a second shooter, and we'll get into like JFK later, but if there was a second shooter, like a guy on we'll call it the water tower, as opposed to the grassy knoll, why didn't he hit him?
Yeah. So my thing is this. So the guy who was 130 yards away on the rooftop is for sure a shooter.
Oh yeah.
And he was popping headshots. But if you are 1,000 yards away, you're taking body shots.
Let's center mass all day.
Yeah, all day, because the force that's coming behind that bullet, I don't give a fuck who you are. You get shot in the chest with a high caliber round, you're gone.
So people don't realize, and the fact that like Jarrett and I hunt, and have hunted, shot, and then gutted animals, when you actually gut an animal and skin them and look at the damage that's caused by a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
So it's called hydraulic shock.
Okay.
So hydraulic shock, hydraulics is the compression of fluids.
Right.
So hydraulic shock is the function of a missile striking a fluid-filled tissue. So when a bullet hits your body, you're full of blood, it forces all of the fluid, your blood, away from that, but it forces it with so much power.
Yeah.
They're like, if you punch an animal through the shoulder, you have to cut like 3 inches around that bullet out and throw it away. The meat's trash.
So I hit my pig in the back leg, right? And like kind of just like skimmed him, ripped him open. The bullet went in to like his rib cage and then bounced around. We pulled out his fucking liver or his maybe it was his lungs.
We didn't know what it was.
Yeah. And then his back leg was destroyed and the bullet grazed its back leg. I didn't shoot it in the back leg. It grazed his back leg.
And here to like nerd out a little more, the bullet that Jarrett shot that pig with, they weigh bullets by grains.
Yeah.
It was 95 grains.
Yeah, it was a big bullet.
But if you're shooting somebody at 1,000 yards, you're going to shoot them with 180 grain, somewhere between 160 and 180 grain projectile, which is way bigger. And you're going to have a lot more force behind it.
Yeah.
So that's why you were saying you go center mass, right? They always say center mass because if you're off 2 or 3 inches, it doesn't matter.
Aim small, miss small.
Oh, yeah, but it's the cavitation and all that stuff coming behind it. Like you hit somebody, it's...
Well, which for me was why I was like, why is this guy taking headshots?
Yeah, it's not... That's why it all kind of... It smells funny.
Yeah, and you go into that knowing that you're going to die.
Oh, yeah, there's no way out of it.
There's no way out of it. So as far as thinking like it's an inside job, I don't know how you talk somebody into that. Like, they're going to fucking smoke you. There's nowhere for you to go. You're on a roof. Where are you going to run to?
That's like a suicide by cop thing.
Yeah, 100%. So you have to be ready to check out. And the guy that was on that roof, he was young. In his 20s, I'm guessing?
20. No, he was 20.
20? Are you ready to throw your life away at 20?
I don't know, man.
So you have to go into it knowing, like, mental disorders, man. And that's what that is. When you try to assassinate somebody knowing that you're going to get killed, you have a mental disorder.
Yeah, if you are... Your mind is such an incredibly powerful machine.
Oh, yeah.
And if you are able to overcome that... Like, if I was going to go to work tomorrow and I knew I was going to die on my job site, I wouldn't fucking go.
I would not show up.
I wouldn't go. There is not enough motivation mentally for me to be like, you know what, no, I'm going anyway. No, I'm calling in sick.
Yeah.
I'd tell them I shit my pants on the way in and I got to go change. And I'm still shitting.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm a sissy. I don't care. I'd tell them anything, but I'm not going to
for
work.
sure. But this guy went into that knowing. Why is your hand in the air?
I have a question.
Yes.
We don't do questions. Where do you think we are?
Okay,
Okay, Natalie has a question. Go
What's
ahead,
up,
Natalie.
So, like, after talking about all of this, right? So, we know this kid is, like, 20 years old, right?
Yep.
And we've seen all this crap come out.
Land plane.
Do you ever think that, like, he's just a patsy? That they, like, set him
Yeah,
up
but
for this?
even
that,
at that...
Yeah, okay, he probably took the shot, but,
No,
like...
but even at that, as a patsy,
do you ever think
have
that, like, he could have been like, okay, yeah, he wants to kill him, and, like, yeah, they set him up, but, like...
He had help. For sure, he had help.
Yeah.
But...
They could have...
If you tell me, like, hey, I want you to go do this, and you're going to die, sorry, go fuck yourself.
But
to her point, I think somebody understood that he didn't like Trump.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they started...
He's 20.
It's like, dude, it's like anything else. When you start grooming people...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like putting them in cults. You groom them to
Yeah.
follow your ideology. That kid didn't act on his own. There's no way.
No, there's no way. And he had no formal training.
Clearly.
No anything. He was... I think he was kind of an outsider.
Yeah, he was a fucking...
He was kind of... And I think
pussy.
it would have been easy for somebody to
Manipulate his mind.
pattern him
Yeah.
from a
Oh,
psychological
for
standpoint.
sure.
And then to feed him enough bullshit and be like, oh, dude, you can do this and you can do that. And
Well, and our government has those programs.
sure.
And
Like
that's
anybody
what I'm
else.
saying. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I kind of asked the question, because, like, I know you have military
Yeah.
experience. I know you're, like, an avid hunter. So it's like you guys are pros at shooting, in a
Right.
sense. So the way I look at it, our whole family has hunted the entire time that I've been alive. Like my grandparents
I would never
shot
shoot for the
killed
head
and all that.
No.
But I sit there and look at it of like, okay, this kid is 20 years old.
No, he did not act alone.
He's doing this, like...
But here's the thing,
he's
too.
He's got to be a patsy in a sense.
But here's the thing, too. Like, so during World War II, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, those guys then crashed their planes because they went out as kamikazes. Mm-hmm. They knew before their mission they were going to fucking die.
But they were also told, like, this was an honorable death.
Honorable, yeah.
You're going to die a warrior's death like a samurai.
100%. At 20 years old, you don't get that close to somebody without help.
No.
At a very minimum.
Not a former fucking president.
No. No. And you don't, I mean, like, you can't conceal that fucking gun.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everything about it stinks.
Yeah.
If he's a patsy,
yeah.
If it's something, and so those are the conspiracy theories. Well, he did it, so now Trump will be elected president. Mm-hmm. Well, he did it so we can get more strict gun laws because now we have somebody from the other side that's using an AR-15 to try to kill a public official. Now we have this. I mean, it's there's too many, and it's too wrong, and it just stinks in every way. And it's been over publicized, and it's like there's all this stuff.
It's all on your
like,
news. So
it's like, dude.
So I think that there's a lot of plants, like social media plants and things, like the Hawk Tuah girl. I can't fucking stand her.
No.
But they are doing their damnedest to make her famous. And if you listen to her whole speech, she probably has a 4th grade education. She is not smart.
No.
But the way that they promote things to take your mind off of other things, look over here while we're doing this over there.
Yeah.
Those things are set up.
Yeah.
Like things don't go viral on accident.
Yes, sir.
So they're very look over here. So the next thing that we have is the moon landing is a hoax, which I've thought that since I first heard about it because I don't have cell phone service in my house, but you wanted me to believe that we had somebody talking to us from the fucking moon? Fuck off.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That is, bro, like, and 50 years ago, I don't even know how long ago it was now.
Have we been back since?
No, you know why? Because we were never there.
But no, honestly, like...
But wasn't it like a race to the moon?
It was a race to the moon with the Soviets.
Yeah.
Right? It was the space race.
It was a space
literally
race.
called the space
100%.
race. So I guess the question is, we did it once. Why haven't we gone back?
Yeah, why don't we go back?
So if we could, but to your point, if we could do it, was it 1969?
Yeah, it was before technology.
No, but I think it was 69 when we were on the moon.
Yeah, it was a fucking long time ago.
But my question is, so we launched a space station, right? We've got a space station orbiting
Which I believe that.
the planet, but
we're not far out of orbit.
I know, but why haven't we been back to the moon?
Because we can't get there.
Like they went there, they took samples, they did this whole 9 yards.
Yeah, who
Now we have
who
so much
filmed
better-
them getting out of their spacecraft?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's all weird.
There's a lot of holes that you can punch in that because it was a race and it was a big thing, and we have to be the first and the best.
But we were coming off the Cold War with the Russians, and we had to beat the fucking Russians. That's why it's funny too. Is the Olympics in the late 70s or late 60s and early 70s. It was USA and China and Russia.
Right.
And everyone else, we were like, oh, you fucking came Jamaica? Cool.
Yeah,
what,
cool.
if you got a
Good for
bobsled team? I don't give a fuck. They're going to make a move about you in 25 years. Get the fuck out of here.
Jamaica, we got a bobsled team.
But everything was like, we have to beat the Ruskies, right? Called them the Ruskies. Beat the Reds. We got to beat the Reds. We got to beat the commies.
And publicly, it has to be public. It has to be on a large scale.
Yeah, and there was such a frenzy, too, about the potential for communism in the United States. And the Reds.
Yeah.
Right? The Reds are coming. The Ruskies are coming. And that became such a huge
When they made movies.
division.
It's like Red Dawn. Is that
Red Dawn?
Yeah. Like it was a push. I mean, it was. I think a lot of things that we do in our countries are scare tactics. I think
it's propaganda.
Yeah, it's all propaganda. But I think that we needed a public platform, something that we were trying to do better than them. Why wouldn't we fake it? And why wouldn't we go back if that was the case?
What else? How else to whip the huddled masses into a fury of pride, national pride?
Yeah.
We beat them in the Olympics. We got to the moon first.
Rocky.
We're doing, yeah. Sylvester Stallone's knocking this big commie out.
Yeah.
Like, there was such a fear of communism. It was democracy and communism.
Yeah.
Right? The rest of the free world, and everyone was freaking out, and like it all just kind of bleeds into it. That's a hard one.
So, but that's one of the things, man. Like anything in life, man, we'll never know the real truth because they'll never put it out.
And you know, there's so many layers to it.
Yeah, but if I guarantee you, if the government could find out a way for you to buy a ticket to the moon, they would sell them at $100 million a piece, and billionaires would be going to the moon to have that experience. Oh, yeah. I just don't see us I don't see us doing it. I don't think we did it.
You know what's funny though too is looking at all of these, right? Well, I'm looking at, we have 5 other conspiracy theories on here.
Yeah.
If they actually ever came out and said these are the actual facts and laid it all out.
The next one, if they said by the way, fucking we did that one, that was us.
But even if they laid it all out and were like, these are the exact facts, people would still be like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Well, it's like during the pandemic when they were like, by the way, there's aliens. And people still are like, there's no aliens. Like, no, the government came out and said, like, yeah, we've been studying crafts and all this shit and blah, blah, blah. The government came out and said it. And people are still like, nah, I don't think so. It's pretty far-fetched.
Let's jump to that one because you brought it up, and then we'll go back to the other one.
So we'll do 4 and then 3. Okay.
But aliens, I'm sorry, there's no way in this massive galaxy that we live in.
It's forever.
That we are the only intelligent life form out here that's been here doing our shit, put stuff outside of our planet.
Yeah.
There is no way we are not
the
only ones here.
When you look at like hieroglyphs and things from thousands of years ago, they all depict the same things. And they're on different sides of the world. Like, how do they have the same encounters?
So here's a quick question for you, or a quick statement. It is stated that the pyramids in Egypt, the joints between the blocks are so tight that you cannot put a piece of paper in it.
And we are supposed to believe that they drug them?
Not only that, you mined this material.
Right, perfectly.
You brought it over with slave labor.
Yeah.
And it was so perfectly machined.
Yeah.
We can do that nowadays with a CNC machine. I can make you a little pyramid to live in this room.
Do you know how many years it would take for us with our technology to build that?
So people have tried to duplicate it, and I remember seeing a show. It was like pre-MythBusters, and these guys are like, "We're going to build a pyramid, like 30 feet tall, and we're going to do it exactly like the Egyptians." And this is the time frame we have to do it, and it fucking wrecked them. They barely got it done,
right?
And they were like, this is so incredibly difficult. Yeah. There comes a point in being in construction that there comes a point when labor, it doesn't matter how much labor and people you have working on something.
There's a timeline that you can't meet.
There's a timeline you can't meet. And by the way, you can only put so many ants on a chicken bone.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too, is you can only get so far out ahead of what you've got going.
Yes.
So Joe Rogan, Joe, we're fucking waiting for you to call you cocksucker. But Joe Rogan said they must have had more advanced technology that had been forgotten or lost to the world because that are aliens, But so this is Area 51 and aliens. I don't think there's aliens at Area 51 because Area 51 is too popular. It'd be too hot for them to keep them there. We have so many bases that nobody knows that they're fucking there. We have underground bunkers. We have all kinds of shit that nobody fucking knows about.
Somebody I know, they were driving like side by side or something. And you can go out there by Area 51.
You can go by it, yeah.
They went over something. They crossed over a line, and they said all of a sudden we had 4 trucks around us, and they were like, you need to go the fuck back that way.
Yeah, well, what people don't understand is that is absolutely a military base, and maybe they have top secret things going on there that they don't want you to know about. When I was in, man, so it wasn't until they killed bin Laden that we found out that they had helicopters that were like supersonic, or like you couldn't hear, you couldn't detect. Like we had these technology to stealth. We had stealth helicopters. Right? Nobody knew about that. The government wasn't gonna fucking tell us. It wasn't their first fucking mission. They didn't just say like we're gonna try this out. No, they had it, and if it didn't get fucking left there, they never would have told us about it.
So my dad is always a big proponent about aliens.
Yeah.
And I've never understood. I didn't understand why for a long time. And he told me, he goes, son, I flew C-130s for the United States government, Vietnam era. And he said, we were flying over the Pacific one night. He goes, we are flying over the Pacific one night. I'm crew chief. I'm in the front of the plane. And we look over, and there is an aircraft next to us. And it is not on our radar.
Yeah.
And he goes, it appeared, and it was flying next to us. And he goes, it wasn't a plane.
No. It was something checking you out, like, what are you doing here?
He goes, this is something checking us out, and we're going, dude, there's nothing on the radar.
Right.
What the hell?
Yeah.
This is in this Vietnam era, the mid-'60s. And it's not there, and we're watching it, and he goes, all of a sudden, that thing went straight up and disappeared.
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't do that in a C-130.
Well, in the 60s, we for sure did not have that technology.
Oh, fuck
There's no way. But there's Navy pilots from ships that I was on. When I was on the Nimitz, they have video footage. It looks like a Tic Tac. I mean, it's different technology. But I talked to David about it, and he's like, there are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the beach.
Oh, there's
in the planet, and it's forever.
Anyway, aliens are 100% a thing.
Yeah, well, and to them, we might be aliens.
Yep.
Like
we are, exactly.
Yeah, we call them something. Maybe they're terrified of us. Maybe our ancestors fucked it up. Maybe wars. Maybe when we started going to wars and being bad people, and I don't know that they didn't give us the technology to build bombs and things. If because every civilization that ever lived built incredible things. Look at the Romans. The Colosseum by itself is unmeasurable.
The Romans created concrete,
yeah,
and aqueducts.
Yeah.
That still work.
That are better than the shit that we can make today.
Yeah.
So I think that we, like cars and modern technology now, because we focus on those kinds of things, are what we focus on. But back then, they were like, hey, we need some kind of compound to hold this stuff together. They made concrete, and they made all kinds of things, and they didn't focus on the things that we focus on. We want to live in a nice house and have air conditioning and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. But,
well, the thing with aliens that fucks everybody up, and I'll just briefly touch on that, is from a religious standpoint.
Because it doesn't say anything about them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That wrecks people.
Right
there. So.
And, I'm not going to get into the religious thing, but
we'll hop off.
But that 100% is why people have a hard time about it.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to talk about it, but that's where a lot of the disbelief is because it's not there. So, so we'll leave it at that. But I think aliens. There is zero chance that we are the only things in existence in the vast nothing. Elon Musk shot a goddamn fucking car that is still traveling through fucking space, and you know what? It'll never hit anything because it's going forever.
If aliens showed up here tomorrow, I'd be like, and?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But the government said that there was aliens, so we'll see. All right, so number 3, we're going to go back now. Okay, so number 3 is 9/11 was an inside job. So there's a lot of stuff that is still coming out about 9/11. 23 years later.
Yeah.
It's no matter what, it was fucked up. But if it was an inside job done by us to us, your whole bloodline is going to get erased. Like, if somebody comes out and is like, hey, I have proof that this person did it, like, your bloodline's getting taken off the map. Like, you killed so many people, started this crazy war. Other people's children got killed because you wanted to go to this war. Like if it was an inside job and we planned it to gain access to oil or selfish reasons, you got to go.
So, war breeds.
Good for business.
War's good for business. So, what got us out of the Great Depression?
World War One. Yeah.
War it stimulates the economy.
Oh yeah.
Nothing unified anybody more
than war.
Then when they blew up the Twin Towers,
everybody came together,
and the Pentagon and all that. Nobody cared about what you were: Republican, Democrat, Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Buddhist, Satanist, Crip blood, whatever.
It came down to, I can't believe you fucking did this to us.
Yeah, you brought it on our soil. Yeah, we're all coming after you.
Yeah, and innocent people.
Yes.
Like, so gangbangers kill gangbangers. They know what they're in for.
Yep.
At war, you kill other people at war. You know what you're in for.
Yep.
When you're at work and somebody crashes a fucking plane into your building, and there's so much now about how it fell. I'm not buying that. I don't give a fuck. Like, being in construction and know that everything is over-engineered to fucking handle the worst things ever, I'm not fucking buying that they both fucking collapsed. I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
From the fucking top, suck my dick. Like, there's no fucking way.
There's a lot of weird stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, and the little micro explosions and shit that it's... For me, if you look up the burn rate of like JP5 or the flashpoint of like jet fuel, it's not 2 million degrees. It's not melting steel, and it's not fucking. And they hit the top. If your structural weakness is at the top, and that causes your whole fucking building to implode, you fucked up.
So I know from my construction experience, I was on a 17-story building that was all steel. Concrete decks, steel columns.
Yeah.
You weld those steel columns, they get X-rayed.
Yeah.
So they do ultrasonic test. Oh, excuse me, they don't get X-rays. They get ultrasonic testing, and they get a mag particle testing. So, like the ultrasound, like JJ would have gotten when she was pregnant, they ultrasound the weld to make sure it's all continuous steel.
And that building was fucking forever tall.
If you're that big, you're not using like little chintzy steel. It's 3-inch, 4-inch flange. It's big, heavy duty stuff.
It is, and it's heavy duty. And for it to fall like that, there is no way. To me, that was the biggest fuck you. Is that the building fell in on itself and collapsed to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
And back then I didn't know much about it, but I'm like, how? That doesn't make sense.
Again, it's like the other topics we have up here. There's too many things that as a logical person, you're just like, this doesn't smell right. Right,
but they sold it to us. They said, hey, this motherfucker did this to us. We're going to war. So he took the attention off of it.
But it's like we've said before. People are soft-headed herd animals that want to be led. Yeah. And if you get enough of them, I'll say it again, like I said earlier, like Mark Twain said, a person is smart and people are stupid.
Right.
And this is a boiled-down paraphrase, but you, Jerett, I know specifically, you would be a great propaganda leader.
Yeah,
because but you have that personality.
Right, I can draw people in.
You can draw people in, and you get one or two here, and you get one or two here, and they start telling their friends.
First,
and I just got to get a couple.
Yeah,
come here.
That is how you start.
10, and then 10 you all of a sudden you've got a flock, and then it grows exponentially.
Right.
You get 2, then you get 8, then you get 24, then you get 36, then you get 250. I mean, you can do the math.
It just goes crazy. And there's a lot of people in the world who want to follow, but the 9/11 thing, it was, hey, they attacked us. It was this big fucking deal, and then they spun it into, we're gonna go fucking kill them because they killed Americans, and everybody was behind it. I was behind it. Like I was like, if they did this, fuck them. They get to go. 100%. And I was a freshman in high school. I didn't even know what the Twin Towers was, but I knew somebody killed a bunch of innocent people who were just working. You can't do that. Like there's got to be rules to this shit.
Yeah.
But America is the only one who follows the Geneva Convention Code. We're the only ones who play by the rules. You can't shoot until you get shot at.
Yeah.
Like if some dude's running out with a fucking AR and they're like, no, don't shoot him until he gets fucking, until he shoots you. I don't want to wait to get shot and die. I would rather lay that motherfucker out because you know what? He's here. He knows what he's doing. If you come here, you invade America, and you're carrying a fucking gun, you are here for a reason.
Which is funny because in the Revolutionary War, we practiced guerrilla warfare tactics, and whereby the British, the rules of engagement were we all form a line, and we're all going to shoot you. And they're like, no, motherfucker, we're all going to hide behind trees. Yeah. And while you're reloading, we're just going to start picking you motherfuckers off.
Yeah. And that's the thing too is. Everybody before was worried about honor and, you die as a man. Like, fuck you, I don't want to die, you piece of shit. My job is to fucking arrange your meeting with your baker and come home to my family.
By the way, it's war.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And everything is off the table. The goal is to kill you, and your goal is to kill me.
So I watched a guy, I used to watch Locked Up Raw a lot, and he said he would break into people's houses and tie them up, take them hostage or whatever. And he said one of the guys said, untie me, let's fight. And he said, I put my gun in his face, and I said, I'm not here to see who can win. I'm here to fucking win.
Yeah.
And that is war summed up. I am not here because I'm like, oh, are you better than me? No, I'm here because you get to go.
Yeah.
And we put so many fucking rules and restrictions on our guys, and we are the worst at punishing our guys for doing jobs that we put them over there to do. Yeah. And then they become afraid to do their job.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble when they come back home. So there's a lot that goes into it, man. And I think that some terrorists jacked planes and flew them into buildings for sure.
I think the backstory though is where the conspiracies lie.
Right, and that's the thing too is how'd you get in with your box cutters? Like how did you get through security? Just fucking a million things, man, that don't add up about a lot of this shit that they just want you to swallow this pill. This is what it was.
Well, it's funny you say swallow that pill, because let's get into the last topic.
Yes. Yeah.
Is Big Pharma.
Oof.
And swallowing that pill.
They're the biggest drug dealers on the planet.
It's funny that you say swallow that pill. And I honestly think it's funny that we have this as like a conspiracy theory about Big Pharma. I don't even think it's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's
I think it's very well known.
Yeah.
And it's just this terribly unregulated,
money
for lack of a better term, like you said, like drug dealers.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you have to get it from us.
You have to.
Who is Pharma Bro? Pharma Bro, right? The guy that they busted because, what was the pill he was pushing? He jacked the prices way up, and he's like, yeah, well, you guys want to get better?
Well, look at insulin.
Yeah.
Insulin went up to like $600.
Yeah.
Because you need it.
But think about it. So JJ's had a child. Kendra's had
3.
Yeah. Kendra's had 2. Our copay was like $500 to have a baby.
Right. Oh, but the actual bill.
Dude, so when you look at it, because, so Kendra had 2 C-sections.
Mm-hmm.
Serious surgery. You're on pain
all the pain
pills.
pills. Yeah.
And the nurses, and God bless them, they're doing their job. They come like, what's your pain?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a pain pill? Okay, you're getting pain pills, you get this. And you look at it, and people joke about an aspirin.
$50.
$50.
Yeah. For an aspirin.
One aspirin is $50. I haven't been to Rite Aid to buy aspirin recently, but I'm pretty sure
you can
you
buy 100.
100 count for
$10 maybe.
$10, and then and so the insurance, like I broke my shoulder blade and collarbone. It was $15,000.
Yeah, I bet.
And I owed $5,000 of it.
Yeah.
But Big Pharma, I agree 100% is.
They are fucking gangbangers. They're drug dealers. They're the elites. They are selling you on hopes and fucking dreams.
Yep.
And but they want you on their pills. They want you sick, and they want you hurting, and they want you this. And look at the pandemic. They're like, oh, we got the cure. We have the thing. They were pushing the shot as a cure. You will not get it. And a lot of people started getting it because they're like, fuck, we're going to annihilate this thing before it even starts. And then it was, oh, well, you can get it, but it's harder to transmit. Or you don't get as sick. Or then they started backpedaling. But they sold it initially as, if you get this shot, you will not get sick.
But we know a lot of people that have had the first shot, second shot, third shot, booster,
Mm-hmm.
and they've had COVID at every turn.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, Big Pharma, I wouldn't necessarily like Big Pharma is a conspiracy. I think Big Pharma is extortion.
Extortion. There's a lot. There's so much money in
It's a money laundering ring.
Yeah.
So when my father-in-law was dying of cancer, he was on chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
A 1 liter bag of his like chemotherapy thing was $14,000.
What do you think it cost him to produce that?
I don't know, but
$50.
they gave him 2 years, and he died 2 years later.
So that's why I always say, like, there's a cure for all of the things. They just won't give it to you because it's so cost effective. You make so much money on chemo bags, right? $14,000 a bag. Hey, you need chemo for 2 years. They are just making money. If you did away with all that, if you cured cancer and did away with all the treatment, all the hospital visits, all of the everything, they would lose $1 billion fucking dollars.
But
A person.
But you think about it though. I wish none of this ever happens to us.
Right.
But if you think your son or one of my daughters gets sick, you will do anything.
Yeah, to the end of
you
the
will
world.
pay anything.
Yeah.
My wife, any of that, I will do anything. I will pay anything to make sure that they are still alive. And they go, huh? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and we're gonna rack. They're gonna rack up the prices. If insulin costs you 10 cents to make, because by now pills and synthetic whatever they have cost nothing. That's why you can get generic pills for fucking pennies.
There's generic everything.
Yeah, you can get generic for pennies, which means that the original shit costs pennies to make.
Yes.
They sell it for such a fucking markup because it's I'm gonna call it corporate greed, but they put the biggest fucking price tags because you need it. You need it.
You need it to survive.
To live. And you know what? If I'm on my fucking deathbed, I don't care what it costs to live.
So the biggest joke that we always had, like when Kendra and I got married, we went to get married, and they were like, okay, went to the venue.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can package A.
Right.
Which is this. But for $1 more a chair,
Right.
we can add this extra ribbon.
Yeah.
And we can put a charger plate, which I don't know what a charger plate
I don't have a clue.
is. Just a plate under a plate. So I don't understand that, right? But it's an extra $1.
Right.
And then we can put this other thing on
Per
the chair.
setting. Yeah.
Per setting, but it's only $1. And it's only $1. And it's only $1.
Yeah.
And you start looking at it.
Yeah,
and
like
start
that's an extra
adding it up.
$10,000
Exactly.
for little things that, at the end of the day, man, everything that you do, everything's a job, right? You go to the dentist, they're like, you have a cavity, you need a filling. They don't give a fuck about your mouth. They care about you getting a filling so they get paid. Everything is a job. You do a doctor's visit, they want you to do a follow-up in 3 months.
Yep.
Everything is about money.
Well, but here's the other thing, too. Like I said, with the weddings and funerals, biggest extortion tactics. Kendra's dad
100%.
died,
Yeah.
and he wanted to be cremated. And I went to a mortuary,
Yeah.
and when he was still alive, I told Kendra's mom, I'm going to help take some of the burden off of you, and I will go to the mortuary, I'll get pricing, I'll talk to him, I'll tell him what's happening.
Yeah.
I'll do all this because everyone was so other upset.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I'll backtrack and handle some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, this is the basic package. And you have
Right.
this basic coffin that we cremate them in.
Because they have to put them in a coffin. You have to pay for it.
You have to be in a coffin. I go, so the basic coffin is like a thin particle board coffin with a little
half
bit
of
of
the
fabric on
ashes,
it.
half of the ashes are a casket.
Oh, it's casket. And then they go, well, we can put him in this casket and cremate him. And we can do this one.
Yeah.
And they had like a tiered system. And I'm looking at them. I want to be like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
Why am I going to, I'm not going to give you.
Free money for you to burn something.
Dude, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like $2,500 for a casket that you're going to fucking
They're
burn.
going to light on fire. Yeah.
You're going to light on fire.
Yeah.
I can go to Vaughn's here and buy a bundle of firewood for $7.99.
Yeah.
And like,
I just got to get it hot enough.
Like you're gonna give. I'm gonna pay you $2,500 for the casket, and you're gonna give me an urn full of ashes,
half casket.
that I also have to pay you.
Yeah.
To
for the
cremate
urn. Yeah.
this person. Like, I'll tell you what. Just put them in a paper bag.
No.
But can you imagine? Put them in a paper bag, and here I'm gonna give you $2,500 in cash.
Yeah.
Throw the $2,500 in there and light it on fire too, because that's essentially what we're doing.
What it is.
So this whole big pharma thing, dude, it's right there,
dude. But it goes so far. So the big pharma thing is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you look into companies that own everything on the planet, it's like 5. It's like the same people own the same things, and they just call them other things. They do fucking different LLCs. They do different DBAs. And that's how the rich stay rich, is because they're like, well, you have to buy this. And if I make the original drug and I charge $1,000 for it, why wouldn't I make the generic and charge $100 for it? Because it's my formula.
But because you're gonna take it either way.
Yeah.
Whether you take the
either
name
you're gonna be a
brand shit,
sucker and get the high expensive shit, or you don't have insurance, you're gonna pay cash, you're gonna buy the low brand shit.
I'll provide the juxtaposition that you talked about earlier. Are you gonna fly first class? Are you gonna fly coach?
Right. I'm flying first class every time.
Either way, the plane's getting there at the same time.
The plane is getting there at the same time.
So do you want Zoloft?
Right.
Or do you want the
generic?
The generic.
Yeah.
Do you want whatever? Whatever, or the fucking generic? Because we're getting you both.
And if the generic works the same, right? Because it's the same chemical compound. Mm-hmm. They just call it something else. Mm-hmm. Which means that it's the same cost for you to do your thing. It does not cost you any more to make Zoloft than it does to make the alternative to Zoloft, the twin to Zoloft. Because if you can buy the same fucking things, the only reason that you're selling Zoloft for a price tag high, and I think that they start out doing that because it's new to the market and they can charge you whatever they want. And then once people slow down on buying it, they're like, okay, we'll make the generic so we can still keep it selling.
But here's another thing that'll fuck you up too. There are a lot of hospitals that will state if you cannot afford to pay for your services, like the Shriners do a great job.
Okay.
Loma Linda Hospital here locally by us, they go, hey, if you can't afford to pay your bills, we will cover them for you.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, and children's hospitals too are the same way.
There's a lot of children, which is absolutely a fantastic thing, because you think, if your child gets diagnosed with cancer, let's say at a young age, 5-6 years old.
Which how does that happen? That's a whole new topic. But we'll get into that later.
Really upset, but if that child gets diagnosed with a serious like leukemia, okay, that's $1 million battle
at least. Yeah, you will go fucking bankrupt. Fighting that.
That's $1 million fight, and if you don't have good insurance and you can't get your kids, they're like, we'll help you out with that. Mm-hmm. We'll do it. And there's a lot of places that do that.
Yeah.
But still, there's
here's
something on the back end. There's something somewhere where, like, there is still a cost in there. Like, but if you, Mr. Jerett's hospital, says, you know what, Jack, your kid's died, we can help accommodate the cost for that.
Right.
Well, did you really need to charge me $1 million?
Yeah. Did you need to charge me in the first place? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you know? So anybody out there who doesn't have insurance but has medical bills, if you pay cash, they will start discounting your bills.
Oh, so when I got my shoulder surgery, I had a huge bill.
Yeah, I bet.
And I had shitty insurance.
Of course.
And all I said was, I called them up and I said, hey, I can't pay you this all at once. Can you put me on a payment plan?
Yeah.
The insurance company came back and they settled for a third of the cost.
Yeah.
And all I said was, just put me on a payment plan.
Right.
No, I don't want to pay less.
Right.
Nope. We'll take a third of it.
Yeah.
Because if you filed for bankruptcy, they get no money.
You know, though, if medical bills are the only thing that will not come off your credit report,
nope.
They will sit there forever. And student loans.
I don't know if medical bills are the same. It was student loans for the longest time. I don't know if it's medical bills.
I know that if you make a payment every month, they can never fuck with you.
Sure, but if you go back and if you negotiate, like you can negotiate your
100%.
bills,
because
you can just tell them like
everything's a negotiation.
No, but you can tell them like, I'm gonna file bankruptcy and I can't pay this shit.
Yeah,
and if bankruptcy, what do they call it? Bankruptcy insurance covers it, and you go file bankruptcy and you're not going to get anything, they'll go, no, we'll take a payment plan.
Yeah,
because you'll at least give us something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, hospitals and things are money printing machines, dude. But they want something, and they will take something because they inflate your bills $50 for a fucking aspirin. That's not what they pay for it.
Kendra had our babies. Charlie, we paid $500. She was in the hospital for 3 years after a C-section and had a C-section, which is major surgery.
Yeah. Well, they take all your things out, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I bet Kendra's bill was $100,000.
Yeah, I bet.
And we paid $500.
Really? Well, and they hit. So I don't know if the insurance is playing the fucking numbers game with them too. Like, hey, we'll pay you this, and so I'm sure that insurance companies look out for themselves too. But it's like anything else, man. You're paying into this thing, forever. If you get 100 million people to sign up for your Jack's insurance, and 3 of them actually use it, you're still fucking killing the game.
Oh yeah,
it's like car insurance, biggest fucking scam on the planet.
Dude, insurance is like it's like gambling.
Yeah.
We know that some of you are going to win.
Right.
Some of you get something back from the house.
Yeah. But a majority.
But the majority of it, the house is the take on the house. Absolutely.
You got to read the fine print. So, we'll cut it at that. But I wouldn't call Big Pharma a conspiracy, but I would call them a fucking bunch of assholes who will jack the rates up on things because they can.
Absolutely.
And the more you need a thing that is there to save your life, the higher they will put the price tag.
If somebody had Hunter in here right now and had a gun to his head and said, "What will you pay to keep your son alive?"
I'll give you everything I got.
Exactly.
I'll give you everything.
Exactly. So,
because life is precious.
But they just are able to do it from a medical standpoint.
Yeah. But you know what? I would meet that motherfucker at the staircase and break his fucking neck.
Oh yeah.
like, hey, you got me by the balls right now, but
later,
I'm gonna fucking get even.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. So that's the thing, man. Is if you have a life-saving thing and you jack the price up because you're a fucking dickhead and you're like, well, imagine how much money I can make. You're the worst piece of shit on the planet.
That's fucking pharma, bro.
Yeah, you can fucking save people's lives, and instead you're telling them to go fuck themselves. You're a terrible person.
I agree.
We almost shouldn't charge for life-saving fucking medications because you're saving somebody's fucking life. You should, at the place where we are in the world, all the help that we give other countries and all the money that we spend and all the fucking things that we do, we should say, you know what? You're insulin dependent. They're charging you $600 a month. We're going to do it for free. You know why? Because we want you to live, because we want to take care of our people.
Yeah, we should take care of our own.
Yeah, take care of our own. Fuck Ukraine. We have sent them so much goddamn money, and I don't know how, because I don't know how we find that money. Your taxes? Like, Social Security, that's why it's not going to be around? I don't know. Everybody out there, if you look at things, maybe pay attention to the big picture. Use your own mind. Don't believe what somebody's telling you.
Yeah.
You are the person that they want to trick, and if you're not eligible to be tricked by these people, you have your eyes open and you see the truth. And that's kind of what this is, man. Is like, there's no need to fucking charge this much for insulin.
Yes, sir.
Especially if it costs you nothing to make it.
I agree.
So, all right, we'll put this one to bed. Check in on your friends. Talk conspiracy theories with us, man. Let us know if you have one that's good, or if you agree with our opinions or not.
I'd love to hear something different.
Yeah, no. If you're like, oh, my fucking uncle was there, like, sure, so was my grandma.
If your last name is Aldrin, as in Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah.
I would be interested to talk to you.
Yeah. And if you believe that they could talk to somebody on the moon, but you lose cell phone service driving down the street, get fucked.
I don't have cell phone service. Dude,
I don't have
I'm
cell
a
phone
quarter
service
mile
here.
from Jerett. I have no cell phone service.
I don't have cell phone service here, so thank God for Wi-Fi. With that being said, man, I've been Jerett.
I've been Jack.
And this is Shattered Wisdom Podcast, and you motherfuckers are welcome. Have a good fucking day.